Hey guys, Alex here from Homeschool of Bel Air. Today's video is going to be a look at the curriculum choices for my third grader for the next school year. If you're interested in finding out what we're going to be working on, stay tuned. Okay guys, these are all the curriculum picks for Vincent. Vincent is going to be doing a little bit of a combination of third grade and a little bit of second grade, only because we have fallen so far behind when it comes to language arts that we are barely going to be able to start the second grade level of language arts. So other than that, everything else is pretty much to grade except for some of the stuff that he's going to be doing with his little brother. So let me go ahead and get right into it. Okay guys, so the first thing I'm going to show you guys is my third grader's writing. So as far as writing goes, this is a Handwriting Without Tears cursive handwriting. This is what we're going to be starting this coming school year. So I mentioned it before, this is a curriculum that we started using this past year and we're really enjoying it. So we're going to go ahead and stick with that and continue working on that. Now, being that he is only working on the cursive for now, I do feel like he still needs practice with his regular print. This is a second grade level book, but it doesn't really matter. It is just writing. This one I am going to have him do a page out of at least once a week where he just focuses a little bit on just his regular print. He does have, this is actually a curriculum that he was working on before. So the way that I'm going to have him do it is just have him pick one page a day, have him just do that, focus on that one page, and just kind of focus on his print because he still has pretty awful writing. So I'm hoping that this helps him out a little bit with his print. So we're gonna, we're gonna only be working out of this maybe once a week. So that is another thing that I have for him as far as handwriting. The other thing that I have for him is these handwriting booklets that I purchased through Teacher Pay Teachers. The seller that sells them is called shopsunnydays.com. And I guess that's your website, but I got them through Teacher Pay Teachers. And they are handwriting copy work for every month. So the thing with this one is because it follows a regular school schedule, it starts in September. So the first back to school book would be in September, and it has one for every single month. So you have your September practice book. So this book would be for the whole month of September. You have one page a day, and it's all it is a cursive copy work. So you have a little area where you can trace it, and then your area where you would do the copy work. It also gives you a few little pictures that you can color and also trace the words. So it pretty much has a page for every single day of the month. And I think it's super cute, and I feel like it might be a lot of writing for him. It might, or for some people, but if you guys are familiar with the Handwriting Without Tears, at least the way we do it is we do one page a day. So it being that we're only doing one page a day from here, one page a day from here, it should be fine. It's something that I want him to take a little bit more time with because he is getting pretty sloppy with his writing, and I don't want that. And not only that, being that this year our curriculum is pretty teacher intensive, the more time I have him working on this means a little bit more time with my 6-year-old to work with him with his reading and phonics. So I'm okay with him sitting for just a little bit longer with his writing. So that is what we have going on as far as writing. The other thing that we do every single Friday is we do draw and write. So for draw and write, lately the boys have been having a really bad time figuring out what to write about. So I decided to go ahead and buy this book. This is the book 1 for the draw and write series. And I created for them a little draw and write journal. This one has a little bit of, it's a little bit different than my other kids' journal. This one, the lines are a little bit smaller and it doesn't have the little dotted line in the middle. So yeah, so this is what we have going on as far as draw and write. And again, this is something we do just every Friday. Okay, as far as language arts goes, I have made a huge change when it comes to language arts and how we're going to be handling language arts this year. So what I decided to do, because I haven't done a complete review on second grade level, but I have a complete review on the first grade hardcore trophies. This is a curriculum that I've been using since last year. My son did the first grade level, and now we're going to do the second grade level. And again, being that he's entering third grade, we fell so far behind on the language arts And we're barely going to be starting grade 2, which I'm totally okay with. He is a little bit dyslexic, so when it comes to his dyslexia, he is reading more at a 2nd grade level. So I'm not going to try to push him into doing language arts for a 3rd grade level, knowing that he's not really there yet anyway. So the way that we're going to be doing language arts this year is we're going to be doing it all with hardcore trophies. This curriculum handles phonics, spelling, vocabulary, grammar, and obviously reading. So we're going to be using it for all of that this year. So I cut out all of our other curriculums, and this is all we're going to be using this year. So that is a big change that we're making this year. So I'm going to try to go in sections because that's the way it's kind of set up in their language arts binder. So let me go ahead and start first with the reading and phonics part of it. So obviously, if you guys haven't seen my review video on the 1st grade, I'm going to try to link it in the description box so you guys can go check it out. Each lesson handles one reader. So you have your one reader for the whole entire week. You focus from that reader, you have your phonics activities, you have your spelling words, your vocabulary words to focus for that whole entire week. Like for instance, for this lesson, these here are your vocabulary words, and then you have your spelling words, which aren't in here, they're in the teacher guide. So anyways, that's how we're going to be handling our phonics. Let me show you guys real quick. Inside his language arts notebook, I just put different dividers. So the first part is a skills practice, which is basically just a practice of everything. It's going to be a practice of your spelling words, of your sometimes some of the practice sheets have a little bit of grammar, a little bit of spelling. So it just depends. So they're all a little bit different. So we have that. Then we have our practice book. This is the actual practice book that comes with the curriculum. These pages here are just supplementary. So anyways, you have the practice book. The practice book, you have your spelling practice. Sorry, I skipped one. You have your phonics practice. You have your spelling practice. You have your more phonics, a little bit of grammar, vocabulary. So it's a little bit of one and all when it comes to the books. So I'm going to use it for our complete language arts. Then you go into the spelling portion of it. So then you have, I made for him a little spelling practice book. This practice book, all it is him writing his spelling words once every day. And we do this Monday through Thursday. So it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And then that's pretty much it for that. Then you have your spelling practice workbook. The spelling practice note workbook, you only work out of 3 times a week. And let me show you guys real quick. You have a different activity to do for each day. And it's just focusing on your spelling words. You get 15 words a week. In the spelling words, you also get a few sight words to focus on. So that is what we're going to be using for sight words and spelling and vocabulary, obviously. And then you have your grammar part. The grammar part for this curriculum, it's a little bit different. For grade 2, it's a little bit different than 1st grade. For 1st grade, you have a workbook. This one, you have a textbook. So you get a little bit of a text. You get a little textbook that handles all your grammar. And then what I did for him is I made him a little notebook. So in the notebook is where he's pretty much going to be doing all the work for the grammar. And let me show you guys a little bit from the book. So as far as this one goes, I don't want him writing in this little book. It's a little bit more, it's set up a little bit more like a textbook. So what I'm going to have him do is, like for instance, the first topic is sentences. I'm going to have him just do all the answering on his notebook. So I made a little notebook for him. So I'm going to teach him just to write the numbers and then write, for the first section, I think he just has to write yes or no. Yeah, so tell whether each group of sentences is a sentence. So he would just have to answer yes or no if they're sentences, and I can just come back and check to see if he did it right. So that's how we're going to be handling grammar this year. So that is how we're going to be doing these practice pages. As far as spelling goes, also, I made him a little booklet with all his spelling words. All we're really going to be doing is reading them off of this. If he has trouble with some, I'll circle them or check them off as he learns them or knows how to read them completely. And then at the end of the week, we can add a sticker to lesson number 1, meaning for the first week, we're done with all these words. If he still has trouble with a few of them, we could obviously practice him some more until he's completely fluent with all these words. So that's another thing that we're going to be doing as far as spelling goes. Now, the other thing that I purchased through Teacher Pay Teachers is I found a bundle of word sorts that go with this curriculum. She is a teacher that decided to add all the spelling words to almost kind of how I was doing the Words Their Way curriculum last year. It's sort of the same thing. She sorts them out by word family or ending. So for instance, in the first story, we're going to be focusing on I'd and id. So then he would just have to sort his words under what area they fall under. So like bride would go under I'd, eyelid would go under id. And for that, we're going to be using a little pocket chart. So I'm going to have them just kind of place all the cards in here and then sort them out underneath just like this. And I think it'll be a little hands-on approach to the spelling, exactly how we were doing it last year. But this is going to be more of a relevant word study because it goes with the lesson that we're going to be doing for that week. The other thing that this curriculum offered is the vocabulary words, not just the spelling words, but it also handled the vocabulary. So you have all the little flashcards for the vocabulary words and the definitions. So again, all he would have to do is take some time and sort them out. So like hardly and handsome, and then he would have to find the definition and put it next to the word, barely or only just. Let's see, handsome would be good looking. So he would just have to sort the word, the vocabulary word to the definition. So that's basically it. So it's a little bit more hands-on, which I love. My kids really do prefer more of a hands-on approach to anything that they do. So that is also what we're going to be doing as far as spelling and vocabulary goes. Let me show you guys real quick. Oh, and I forgot that that activity that I bought through Teacher Pay Teacher also comes with a few activity pages for the spelling words. So I was pretty happy to find that. As well as that, the other way that we're going to be focusing on when it comes to spelling, we're going to be doing a little bit more hands-on with, let me show you guys real quick. Okay, so this is an awesome kit that I bought off of a teacher that was retiring. She posted it on Craigslist that she was basically selling everything in her classroom, and I set up a date with her and I met in her classroom, and I was able to pretty much rummage through all her stuff, and I came across this awesome kit. It is called Touch Phonics. And it is basically what I'm going to be using with my 8-year-old when it comes to spelling and phonics. It is a multi-sensory approach to spelling and phonics. It's kind of big, so there's really no place for me to really put it. So it basically comes with 4 different trays. Each tray handles different phonetic sounds. So for instance, here you have your initial consonant blends, the S blends, the R blends. You have your single vowel sounds, as well as your Y and then your silent E. You have final consonant blends here, and then you have some L blends on the side here. That's one tray. The other tray has beginning sounds. So you have all your single consonants. You have your sound unrelated sounds. You have your beginning sounds at the beginning here, which are just pretty much consonant blends. You have your digraphs, and then you have your silent letter blends. So whenever you spell like the word hi, you have the GH, which is completely silent. And the way that they do it is they do it, so it's multisensory. So you are handling the kinesthetic learner, the auditory, the, I forgot the other types of learners, but the way that they do it is all the consonants and digraphs type sounds are going to be in yellow. Anything that's more of a silent, like in the word sword, this W silent, are going to be white. And then obviously your vowel sounds are going to be red. So the last tray here are some of the vowel sounds. You have consistent sounds. So you have like E as in keep, E as in sheaf, O as in boat, and it just gives you the different sound. It gives you the controlled R sound. So here, obviously, the E is silent. So you have the So yeah, so it's kind of fun. I'm excited. And then you have the last tray where you have prefixes and suffixes. So it handles a little bit of everything. So the way that it would work, for instance, the way that I would have him do it with his language arts is, for instance, if his the teacher gave me a little mini lesson as to how you use it. Basically, you set all your letters here in the center. So let's say, for instance, if we're building if we're building a few words with the silent E, you add the silent E, which is going to be white. So for instance, you have a word, like let's say, for instance, on the first lesson, you're going to have the word hid. So he can put, so here, the way she explained it to me is you have your letter sounds. So down here, all they do is make sounds. So like the I would make the I or the I sound. The E would be silent, so it wouldn't make a sound. The D would make the D sound. And you can't tell, but I don't know if you can tell up close, but the letters have texture to them. So that's another way it makes it multisensory, because the way she explained it is you want to have your student follow it along with his fingers. So yeah, so again, they're using all their senses when it comes to the letters and the sounds that they're learning. So again, if I was to tell him, okay, spell the word hid, he would get the first sound added to the sound bar. So I, d, hid. So what I would do then is I would cover it and have him sound it out again and write it down here. So then he would take his dry erase marker. Now you're using another sense, because now we're hiding the word, and I'm telling him, so now he's using auditory, so now hid, so he would have to sound it out again and try to remember how to spell hid. So H-I-D, hid. Now we're going to turn the word hid into hide. So he adds a silent E, so now we know that this is hide. So it's just going to be a different way of doing spelling and phonics. Again, it's going to be more of a multi-sensory type of approach to having him doing his spelling and phonics. So I'm pretty excited to get started with this. Again, a lot of his curriculum this year is going to be a little bit more teacher intensive, but I'm okay with that, because I feel like if it's going to help him out with his dyslexia or anything like that, I'm okay with. So yeah, so I can't wait to actually start using this, because I feel like because it's going to be more of a hands-on approach, we're really going to be building these words, feeling them, hearing them. It's going to help him out a lot. So that is what we have going on as far as using this with our regular language arts curriculum. So let me go ahead and set this aside real quick. So the other thing that we're going to be doing alongside with our language arts, I also found a great deal on eBay for the readers. And these are the readers that go with this curriculum. So every week, along with the story that he's reading out of here, so for instance, the first lesson, we're handling the colorful or the mixed up chameleon. He also has a reader that handles the same phonics sounds that he's going to be learning in this story. So this is going to be considered more for independent reading. Not only that, the teacher guide tells you when to have him read this book. So that's going to be another thing that we're going to be incorporating with that. Along with the little reader, we're also going to be doing copy work from the reader. So the way that I'm going to have him do it is I'm going to have him, the day that he reads this story, I'm also going to have him pick a page from the story that he liked the best. And all he's really going to do is copy the illustration as best as he can, and then write down either, I think in the beginning I'm going to have him just pick a sentence and have him write a complete sentence. But I think as we go on, I'm going to have him do a complete, the complete page. So he's going to have to write the whole entire page, just depending. We'll see how we fill it out. But that's something that we're going to be doing once a week. Okay, so this is going to be considered their computer work. Along with the language arts, I also found a website that is completely geared towards the Harcourt Trophies curriculum. So here it has second grade. So what I'm going to have them working out of is they have a few little spelling games to kind of just help them out with the spelling words every week. So let me see. So we just click on Harcourt second grade. It takes you to this screen. And then this screen, if you just scroll down, it has pretty much every story or every lesson. So for instance, the first one is a mixed up chameleon. Oh, way down at the bottom. Here's the spelling city. Spelling city for mixed up chameleon. So all you would have to do is go to that, And then it takes you to Spelling City's website, and here are all the spelling words that we're going to be working on for that entire week. It has a few games. Spelling City is with the paid membership, but they do have a few free games that you could actually play. So for instance, if I go to that little area where it says play a game, it takes you to all the games. Obviously, none of these are going to be completely free, but if you click on free, it's going to give you a few of the free ones. For instance, it has spelling test, spelling teach me, audio word match, missing letters, test and teach, word search, hang mouse, read a word, and then handwriting. So all this kind of stuff is going to be stuff that I'm going to allow my 8-year-old to come on the computer and just kind of work on some of his spelling words through here. Let me show you guys, like for instance, hang mouse.
Hang mouse. Will the mouse get a snack or will the cat?
So it basically gives you the definition or a sentence with your missing vocabulary or spelling word, and then you would just have to type it in. So that's basically how it is, and I feel like it's going to add a little bit of funness to their language arts, so I'm kind of excited for them to get started with this. Okay guys, so this is another big change that I've made. We stopped using Singapore Math. This is going to be pretty much our main math curriculum as far as Vincent goes. I ended up finding an awesome deal on all of this on Craigslist, and I went ahead and went for it. This is something that I had been planning on using from the beginning, but because they start off on 3rd grade, I had to find other math curriculums to kind of just use before I can start using this. I'm not good at math at all, and it was making me really nervous to really think that I was going to have to teach pretty much 3rd grade math. When it comes to kindergarten, 1st grade, and 2nd grade, I'm okay with, because it's something that obviously I'm okay with. But starting in 3rd grade, it was making me really nervous. So I was really happy to find this. This is something that he already started using. He started using it. I had him do lesson 1 just to see if he was going to like it, and he ended up loving it. And we're actually already on lesson 5. I'm having him stop. I stopped him from going on or continuing because I want him to finish up what he's already working on. He's still working on the Singapore Math. He's on book 2B right now, and I'm kind of just having him finish that off a little bit before we continue on. So this is going to be something that we start back up on August 1st, and I'm pretty excited about it. Okay, so the other thing that I'm going to have him working out of is going to be the Thimble Math. The Thimble Math, Avi Patil had actually contacted me about pretty much asking me if I needed any of the other work text for the other grades, and he was gracious enough to send me the complete 1st grade and the complete 3rd grade. So you're going to see it in my 1st graders video whenever I put that up. So anyways, as far as 3rd grade, I am going to have him working out of this. For anybody that knows anything about teaching textbooks, the lessons actually, because I already had my son working from them, he finishes these lessons so quickly. I know that as the year goes, I know he's probably going to take a little bit longer on the lessons because he's actually going to have to work some problems out. But for right now, he hasn't had to work anything out, and he's been flying through the lessons. So again, I'm not going to have him continue working on this just yet. We're going to start it back up on August 1st. But because he finishes his lessons so quickly, I am going to have him working out of this also. Whether it be 1 lesson a day or 1 page a day, I'm undecided, but he is going to have to work out of this because he's doing it way too fast. So again, this is going to be something that we incorporate as well, and I have the complete 3rd grade textbooks. Again, this might not be our main math curriculum, but I am going to be using it as supplement. So let me go ahead and go on to the next. Okay, so the other thing that Vincent's going to be starting this year is typing. As far as typing goes, we're going to be using 2 different resources. We're going to be using education.com for their typing lessons, and we're also going to be using typing.com. I made him a little binder. The binder is mainly for me to keep track of the amount of typing that he's doing. It's not going to be necessarily a lesson that we're following or anything like that. And I'm just calling it year one because obviously this is going to be the first year that we do typing. So all I really did was I printed out a few of the printables from education.com just to kind of start him off with. And then all I really did was I typed in, I created this on PowerPoint, and it's basically just like a lesson pacing guide for me to keep track as to what lesson he's going to be working out of or what website. Because what I'm going to really do is I'm going to write down, for instance, on week 1 for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, because we're only going to be doing this Monday through Thursday, I'm going to write in where I want him to go for the lesson. So if I want him to do a said lesson from education.com, I'm going to write it in here, education.com. Now, anybody that's familiar with education.com, you could actually, when you have a membership with education.com, you can set up assignments for your student. So what I'm going to do is, he already has a little area for typing, and all he really has to go is go to his assignments, and I'm going to have certain lessons for him to do for the typing. So depending on what we're working on, it's either going to say education.com assignment week 1 or whatever it is that I label it. Or if on Tuesday I want him to work out of typing.com, I'm going to write in typing.com lesson 1 or whatever it might be. So again, this is going to be more for me to just kind of keep track or to let him know where he's going to be working from on said day. And all I really did is I wrote down, or I typed in week 1 through week 30. So it's going to be 30. For now, I'm only planning on doing it for 30 weeks instead of the 40 weeks that we normally do. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So that's how we're going to be doing typing. So let me go ahead and show you guys the next thing. Okay, next thing that I'm going to be introducing this year is going to be history. Now, I was having trouble finding a secular history that I liked. I do tend to go, when it comes to curriculum like this, I do tend to go for curriculum like textbooks that you can find used from schools or anything like that. But a lot of the grades that I was finding were too high of a grade. When it comes to elementary school, we really don't teach history. When it comes to this type of history, we teach it a little bit we kind of incorporate it a little bit into our social studies, which is fine, but we don't go too in depth. I wanted something more in depth because the boys are showing a little bit more interest in our like regular history. So with that being said, the only curriculum that I saw reviews on that showed it to be secular friendly was the Story of the World. So I went ahead and went with it. I also love the fact that it came with the audio instead of the readers. It was something that I wanted to be able to play for the kids, to give me some free time, because a lot of the curriculum that they're going to be using for this year is going to be a little bit more, or at least as far as their language arts, is going to be a little bit more teacher intensive. So whatever I could buy that was less teacher intensive, note Vincent's math, I want to go for it. So being that this is a little bit more of a, I could buy the audio, I prefer it. So I went ahead and went with the audio. Here I have his student worksheets. They're all already printed out and ready to go. This is going to be something that we use together with both my boys, and I'll probably include my daughter whenever she feels like sitting through one of the lessons, but she's not going to be forced to doing it. Being that it is considered a little bit of a Christian curriculum, I'm not too worried about it because I don't mind when Christianity or religion is being taught, not necessarily Christianity, but religion is being taught in a history standpoint, because I do feel like religion has a lot to do with our history, so I don't mind it being taught in history. Usually it's when it taps into like language arts or science or anything like that, that I'm a little bit more standoffish when it comes to religion being taught in other subjects. But when it comes to history, I'm okay with it. I'm not finding it to be a big deal when it comes to this. So yeah, let me go ahead and move on. So as far as art goes, we're going to be doing a YouTube art class. It's called Art with Trista. I do have this printable available for anybody that's interested. I did see a few comments on my video that I did talking about the art that we're going to be doing next year. I did make the PDF available. It is on Scribed. I added a link on that video. I'm going to try to add that link to this video as well. So in case anybody's interested in the printable that I did, you guys are feel free and download it for free. So it is a YouTube channel that I found. It is called Art with Trista. And what I ended up doing I broke it down into 40 different lessons for the whole entire school year. We do art once a week. And so I picked a lesson for every day of the week. I also created a playlist that is, I'm also going to try to link in the description box with all these videos here. So yeah, so it should make it pretty easy in case anybody wants to follow along with this art. So that is what we're going to be doing for art. Spanish, we're going to be using Spanish for You. This is a curriculum that I just found. It is something that caught my eye. It is pretty affordable. It is like $30 or $39, I think, for the complete year. You get your little booklet, which is not necessarily a teacher guide, but it kind of goes over each lesson, what you're going to go through. So you get this book for the whole entire school year, but you also get a PDF download. The PDF download comes with the actual lesson guides or the teacher guide for each lesson. And it also comes with printables as far as flashcards and worksheets. I don't know that I'm going to have them work on the worksheets because I don't know that I want them really learning or focusing too much on the written language or the grammar behind it. I want them to focus more on the spoken language first. So I can't tell you guys too much about it because I've never used it, but I will probably do an update in a couple of months telling you guys how it's working out. Social studies. As far as social studies goes, we're going to be sticking with the Scott Forsman social studies. This is the grade 2. This is people and places. We're still finishing up the first grade level and we're loving it. So we're going to go ahead and stick with Scott Forsman. Here is the activity workbook. I already printed it out and I have it ready for it to go for the next school year. So that is what we're doing for social studies. Okay, so as far as geography goes, we're still working out of our state-by-state geography. We finished off on Louisiana and we're going to continue on. We're taking a break from it right now and we're going to continue on. I just noticed he didn't do a bunch of the Louisiana pages. We're going to continue on with Maine. Actually, looking at that, we're probably going to start off on Louisiana again and finish this off because it seems like they didn't color some of the pages. So we're going to take a little break from this for the summer and we're going to start off back up either Louisiana or Maine. I'm going to see how much of the information they retained from Louisiana. But we're supposed to start on Maine. So we're going to start this back up on August 1st. Now, as far as regular geography, we're finishing up our Evan Moore geography book, and we're going to start this off next year. This is the complete book of maps and geography. The grade levels for this is 3rd and 6th. It might be a little too advanced for my boys, but I think we'll be able to manage through it. Usually with this kind of stuff, I sit down and really read everything for them and kind of do it with them. So I think it'll be something we'll be able to manage. So that's the other thing we're going to be doing. So as far as science goes, we're going to stick with Science Fusion. I love Science Fusion. It is super simple. The lessons are pretty easy to follow. This is a work textbook. So this is pretty much your textbook and workbook all in one. The lessons are pretty short and sweet. They get straight to the point. And I figure we're not getting, when it comes to science, it's not going to be something that I get super in depth with until when they're a little bit older, when they can actually really do experiments, they can really do build things, do things like that. So as far as right now, I feel like Science Fusion is perfect. Okay guys, so that's all I have for you guys today. If you guys have questions or comments, feel free and leave them in the comment box below. Thank you guys for watching and we'll talk to you next time.